My dear friends, I want to tell you about a movie my wife and I just went and saw, and that is The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, starring Henry Cavill and quite a cast, and directed by Guy Ritchie. It just wasn't that good. What drew us to it was the fact that it had Henry Cavill in it, and I'm desperate for that guy to get a role that is worthy of his skills, because he just keeps getting one bad script after another, and he's not getting to show off what he can do. And it was a Guy Ritchie film, and he knows how to make a good movie. Very punchy, very witty, very colorful. But this movie sucked. Now, why did it suck? Well, the production values were fine. It was a special forces / spy movie, so you're going to get some action, which is usually good. It looked at a relatively unexplored area for films to tackle, and that's West Africa during World War II, because this is based on a true story, and the actors do a good job with the material that they have. And while the cast does the best they can with the characters that they're given, the protagonists, we have two issues with them. One, they mostly come across as psychopaths, kind of rapey psychopaths. So that's not good. That doesn't make me want to cheer for them. And two, each one of them is supposed to have some deep backstory of criminal doings or ways they fell afoul of the authorities, and that's why they were in jail or on the lam or something like that. Why didn't we get more of that? That would have been interesting. And there were quite a few scenes you could have cut from this movie that those backstories told through flashbacks would have been much better slotted in. The problem is the material that they have is lacking in one key department. The one thing that drives how interesting a story can be is the amount of conflict in the story. And it's hard to have conflict. It's hard to have stakes. It's hard to have the sense of danger for your characters when the enemy never fights back. The movie has the best film villains in history, the Nazis, to play against, and they're inept. They put no points on the board. At no point do I feel that the enemy of our protagonists are a credible threat. And given how we've been reviewing the Lethal Weapon series recently, that really stuck out to me, because every one of those movies did a good job of building up the credibility of the threat. The villain kept the chances of the protagonist achieving victory in hazard. This movie didn't have it. And maybe that's how the history really went, in that this team of special forces really did pull off everything that they did without any complications. But that doesn't make for a good movie. A story needs conflict, and there wasn't any. That's one of the many reasons people hate Mary Sue characters, because no matter what the villain does, you know for a fact they're just going to glide over them effortlessly. It doesn't matter how much work or how many credentials the villain has to their name, they're just going to get pancaked, and that's going to be it. There's no point in telling the story when there's no real fight that's going to happen. And that is the thing that cripples this movie for us. There was some humor, and it landed. So this movie should have done one of two things. One, it should have been like an Airplane lampoon of the spy genre and really leaned on the humor part, which Guy Ritchie could totally have done. Or have the villains actually be able to put up a fight. And believe me, you have no idea how incompetent these villains are in the movie. They practically shoot themselves. So I'm sorry to see that it didn't pan out. I would not recommend this one.